which brings me to this year's Eastern Conference Finals, one that tore my guts out because I picked the Heat before the playoffs started to win it all. And I protected Jimmy Butler against the onslaught from across the table from Shannon Sharp, who said, he comes and goes in the playoffs. I said, no, he's a superstar in the playoffs. Not in the regular season, in the playoffs, superstar. Playoff Jimmy. Jimmy buckets. Shannon skeptical. 41 points from Jimmy Butler in Game 1 against Boston. Big win at home for Miami. Game 2, not quite so great, but still 29 more points as Boston evened it up. And then here we went. Game 3, I don't know how, but Miami stole Game 3 at Boston in spite of Jimmy Butler, who mysteriously, suspiciously, didn't play at all in the second half after a very quiet first half. Really? Well, I know he's got troublesome knees, arthritic knees, inflamed knees. But he looked just fine to me in Game 1 and Game 2. And in the moments I saw him in Game 3, he looked fine. I didn't see flinch. I didn't see limp. I didn't see gimp. I saw no sign of real knee problems. And yet, all of a sudden after the game, there's Eric Spoelstra saying, hey, the doctor shut him down. Was Spo covering for Jimmy Butler? I don't know. All I know for sure about Jimmy, there's history here. There's history in Chicago, in Minnesota, in Philadelphia, again and again and again of internal clashing with teammates and coaches. Lots of history. Clashed with Spo very publicly for all to see during a timeout back in March. You remember it well, I'm sure. I've never seen Eric Spoelstra lose his temper the way he lost it in front of the TV cameras. You want some of me? Spo was saying to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy pushed the deepest switch in Coach Spo. He lost it for a few minutes and had to be restrained by Udonis Haslem, who had to restrain himself from going after Jimmy Butler. That's what Jimmy can do to a team. Did something happen that night in Game 3 at halftime in Boston? I have no idea, but I think I'm within my rights to at least wonder out loud about it, and I did on Undisputed. I don't know what happened because Jimmy Butler in Games 4 and especially Game 5 back at home looked disengaged. He almost looked like he was pouting, like he was playing without really playing, like he was quitting without really quitting. And I called him out for it after Game 5, out of my mind on Undisputed. Am I just being a hater? Well, I like Jimmy Butler. I'm not saying I love him, but I like him in the playoffs. But I'm not going to pull a punch because I had defended him to Shannon. I'm going for the throat because there's plenty of throat that has been exposed. What was that about? I'll go to my grave wondering, what was he doing? And then Game 6, back in Boston, it was a flat-out indictment of Jimmy Butler because all of a sudden his knees were miraculously healed. He was whole again. He was engaged. He was back in attack mode. In Games 4 and 5, he barely attacked. I think I saw stats that said he actually attacked the basket. I think it was 9 times in Game 4 and 10 times in Game 5, and I can't even remember that many. And then in Game 6, he attacked the basket 28 times. Oh, there he is. He's back. Why? I don't know. Did he say, well, all is almost lost, so I'm sort of toying with this series. Now I'm going to try. I'm going to get us to a Game 7, and then we'll see what happens. And he did. It was a masterpiece of a performance. 47 points at Boston, blew me away, knocked me off my couch right onto the floor. Where was that guy? Indictment. So we go to Game 7. And I tweeted before Game 7, can I trust this man in Game 7? No, I don't trust Jimmy Butler. And he was a little passive in the first quarter. And then all of a sudden, when the game looked like it was lost, because it really was lost, here he came in second quarter. He scores 18. And then he went quiet again in the third quarter when the game got close. And then he went even quieter in the fourth quarter. He only scored 4 points in the fourth quarter. And you know what happened? Not Jimmy Butler. All the rest of them happened. Boston's up 13 with 3:35 to go. And here came the Heat. Not Jimmy Butler, but the Heat. Jimmy didn't contribute a single point down the stretch until you know what happened with 16 seconds left. He gets the rebound off yet another Marcus Smart miss. He missed 5 shots in a row over the last 3:35. He said, this is my team, my time. I'm taking over. I don't need you, Jason Tatum, or you, Jaylen Brown. I'm doing this. And he missed his 5th shot. Jimmy gets the rebound. And here came Jimmy dribbling the ball all the way up the floor. And there was Al Horford back, as always, the pro's pro on defense, backpedaling in the lane. And all of a sudden, Jimmy Butler, who shot 23% from 3 during the regular season, says, I got this. Did he? I don't know. I'm still not sure. I'm okay with your best player taking the shot to win the game, because if you make it, you're up 1, that 3, not his shot, one that he could certainly say, well, I missed it because I'm not the greatest three-point shooter. He's not. But he has made some in the clutch. He was actually 5 for his last 11 threes in this series, and he didn't even come close. He went short left, ticked off the left side short rim, and that was basically the game. To Marcus Smart's credit, he went back down and made the 2 free throws that made it a 4-point game and iced it. So, again, I'm going to go to my grave wondering, did Jimmy really try to make that 3? I don't know for sure. And you can call me a hater, a contrarian, a shock jock, but these are the kind of questions that loom large in my psyche, because was he feuding with somebody? Was he pouting? I don't know. It's just hard to trust Jimmy Butler when he had done that to that team in game 3, 4, and 5, and then he had gone so passive and so quiet in the fourth quarter of game 7. I hope you enjoyed that video. You ready for more? Make sure you click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from the Skip Bayless Show. And don't forget to check out the full episode of the show wherever you get your podcasts by clicking the link in the description.